I know I'm a little late to the party, but I wanted to talk about something pretty serious. So Kanye West apologized, and I want to read the whole thing to you. Alright, let's start. To those I've hurt, 25 years ago I was in a car accident that broke my jaw and caused injury to the right frontal lobe of my brain. At the time, the focus was on the visible damage, the fracture, the swelling, and immediate physical trauma. The deeper injury, the one inside my skull, went unnoticed. That is true. He was in an accident. That's why the song Through the Wire was made. Um, Comprehensive scans were not done, neurological exams were limited, and the possibility of a frontal lobe injury was never raised. Wasn't properly diagnosed until 2023. That medical oversight caused serious damage to my mental health and led me to my bipolar type 1 diagnosis. Bipolar disorder comes with its own defense system. Denial. When you're manic, you don't think you're sick. You think everyone else is overreacting. You feel like you're seeing the world more clearly than ever, when in reality you're losing your grip entirely. As people label you as crazy, you feel as if you cannot contribute anything meaningful to the world. It's easy for people to joke and laugh it off when the fact is this is a very seriously, I can't read. It was a very serious and debilitating. Oh my fucking god, am I reading at a third grade level? Holy crap. It is easy for people to joke and laugh it off when in fact this is a very serious, debilitating disease you can die from. According to the World Health Organization and Cambridge University, people with bipolar disorder have a life expectancy shortened by 10 to 15 years on average. Okay. And a 2 times to 3 times higher all-cause mortality rate. Jesus Christ, I cannot speak. And a 2 times, 3 times higher all-cause mortality rate than the general population. This is on par with severe heart disease, type 1 diabetes, HIV, and cancer, all lethal and fatal if left untreated. The scariest thing about this disorder is how persuasive it is when it tells you you don't need help. It makes you blind, but convinced you have insight. You feel powerful, certain, and unstoppable. I lost touch with reality. Things got worse and longer. I ignore the problem. I said and did things I deeply regret. Some of the people I love the most treated the worst. You endured fear, confusion, humiliation, and the exhaustion of trying to have somebody who was at times unrecognizable. Looking back, I became detached from my true self. In that fractured state, I gravitated towards the most destructive symbol I could find, the swastika. And I even sold t-shirts bearing it. One of the most difficult aspects of having bipolar type 1 are the disconnected moments, many of which I cannot recall, that led to poor judgment and reckless behavior that oftentimes feels like an out-of-body experience. I regret and am deeply mortified by the actions in that state, and am committed to accountability, treatment, and meaningful change. It's not an excuse what I did, though. I am not a Nazi or an anti-Semite. I love Jewish people. To the black community, which held me down through the highs and the lows in the darkest of times, the black community is unquestionably the foundation of who I am. I am so sorry to have let you down. I love us. In early 2025, I fell into a 4-month-long manic episode of psychotic paranoid and impulsive behavior that destroyed my life. As the situation became increasingly unsustainable, there were times I didn't want to be here anymore. Having bipolar disorder is a notable state of constant mental illness. When you go into a manic episode, you are ill at the point when you are not in the episode, you're completely normal, and that's when the wreckage from the illness hits the hardest. Hitting rock bottom a few months ago, my wife encouraged me to finally get help. Good on Bianca. I found comfort in Reddit forums of all places. Reddit? This is how you know he wrote this. Different people speak of being manic or depressive episodes of similar nature. I read their stories and realized that I was not alone. It's not just me who ruins their entire life once a year despite taking meds every day and being told by the so-called best doctors in the world that I'm not bipolar, but merely experiencing symptoms of autism. My words as a leader in my community have global impact and influence in my mania. I lost complete sight of that. As I find my new baseline and a new center through an effective regime of medication, therapy, exercise, and clean living, I have newfound much needed clarity. I am pouring my energy into positive, meaningful art, music, clothing, design, and other new ideas to help the world. I'm not asking for sympathy or free pass. Though I aspire to earn your forgiveness, I write today simply to ask for your patience and understanding as I find my way home. With love, Yay. That is not my first time reading that apology, but that is my first time reading it out loud. I don't forgive him. It is not my place to forgive him. It's the place of the Jewish community and all the communities that he's hurt throughout his whole spiel. Now, I really appreciate this apology and for what it is. And I appreciate that he's not asking for forgiveness or a free pass. This is the most personal you will ever see Ye. Most of the time, he's pretty self-centered, and that's what you kind of like about the guy. But at the same time, there's a time and place, and he chose right for this time. I would need to see some sort of improvement and some time. But again, it's not my place to forgive. But definitely can see that he said some pretty shitty things, and I do not condone them. And so in time, I'll think about it, and whether or not I listen to him again or listen to his new projects. And you guys can decide the same. If you hate him, you hate him. That's understandable. He said some pretty shitty things. Aligned himself with some pretty shitty people. I would like to see him make a comment about Diddy, but I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. I know he recently started taking off his King Combs album that he did with King Combs, his Diddy's son. He's taking that off his streaming. He's taken all of his anti-Semitic music off of streaming, which is great. But yeah, nothing else to say. Cheers. Have a good night, guys.